Tonight at 11, a historic night in Atlanta. Right now, you are taking a live look at CNN Studios in Midtown, where just in the last 30 minutes, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump left the stage of the first ever presidential debate in Georgia.
And this marks the first debate ahead of a much anticipated November election. The stakes are sky high right now, folks, as both candidates fight to win over voters and reshape the road to the White House.
Tonight, 11 Alive is bringing you live team coverage tracking every angle from tonight's debate, from the top big moments down to local reaction, analysis, and protests.
But first, we're going to get you straight out to, of course, Molly Oak, who's out there right now. Oh, we're going to get to Zach right now with the very latest on what they're taking away from tonight's debate. Zach?
Tonight, right here in Atlanta, two presidents met on the debate stage at a moment of crossroads for our country. Both former President Trump and President Joe Biden presenting two very different visions for the future of our country. Let's get right to the biggest moments tonight. And we've got to start right here. Some voters have expressed concern about President Biden's age and his ability to keep focus. Tonight, at times, the president seemed to lose his train of thought, including in his answer early in the debate to a question about the economy.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
But that was not always the tenor of the debate. There were also moments of high energy exchanges like this one, where Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden clashed over one of the biggest issues of this election, the future of abortion access after the Supreme Court's 2022 decision overturning Roe v. Wade.
He can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
You're lying. That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only if a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period, period, period.
Okay, and we're going to get you right now to a live look at President Biden at his watch party. Let's listen in right now.
Indian, they were Apaches, and one of them looked at John Wayne and said, "These guys are nothing but lying, dog-faced pony soldiers." Except he's just a liar. Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to be out there fact-checking all the things he said. I can't think of one thing he said that was true. No, I'm not being facetious. But look, we're going to beat this guy. We need to beat this guy. And I need you in order to beat him. You're the people I'm running for. Here. He says he's going to be the retribution for his supporters. You are the reason why America's as good as we are. We're the finest nation in the whole damn world. And nobody's close. So let's keep going. See you at the next one. God love you all. Heading to North Carolina. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to go home with you. Thank you.
That was President Joe Biden speaking at a campaign watch party right after the debate wrapped up. And we want to bring in Joe Ripley with the 11 Alive political team and Emory political science professor Zach Paskowitz. Experts say that tonight's debate will help set the tenor of the rest of the campaign. Joe, Zach, what do we expect to see for the remainder of the race?
Right. So a key thing that we saw in tonight's debate, Zach, was how these candidates responded to a key question that came later in the debate towards the end on whether they will accept the results of the 2024 election. Much was to be discussed about the 2020 election results. We heard from former President Trump, if it's a fair election, Dr. Peskowitz, then he would. President Biden said he would accept those 2024 election results, but a lot of relitigation of the past, not so much of a vision for the future. I want to hear your impressions from voters and viewers. What should they take away tonight?
Yeah, so this was a debate that was about the past, largely. What had they done in the past, in their 4 years as president, as opposed to what are they going to do if they are elected?
And so we spoke yesterday, Dr. Peskowitz. You said a path to victory in tonight's debate for President Biden would be whether he could stand by his policies and stand by those when it comes to persuading voters that he is doing something to help out their wallets and pocketbooks, right? And for former President Trump, the key to victory in tonight's debate had to deal with keeping his composure. How do you think those two were effective at both of those tonight?
Yeah, so Biden had some challenges answering questions about inflation and economic conditions, but was able to make a case that some of the Trump policies, such as implementing a 10% tariff, would exacerbate inflation going forward. I think Biden struggled in terms, particularly at the beginning of the debate, in terms of reassuring voters about his full mental capacity and awareness. Trump got a little pugnacious, particularly in the middle of the debate as well.
This was an historic night, Dr. Peskowitz, because both of the candidates on that stage had previously held the Oval Office. So a lot was made about their records in office. A lot was also made about who to blame and who should take credit for the outcome of the country, whether good or bad. Is this a sneak peek into what we could be seeing down the campaign trail after tonight?
Yes, I expect each candidate will continue hitting each other on challenges that we're facing as a country in terms of the economy, foreign policy, and other issues.
And in a debate held right here in Atlanta, here in Georgia, a critical swing state that will be pivotal in the 2024 presidential election, not really much was made about policies or issues right here in the city and state. We'll send things back to you for now.
All right, Joe, thank you so much. Tonight, outside of the debate studios, nearly 100 people protested the war in Gaza. We also saw some smaller groups demonstrating on their stance on abortion. 11 Alive's Angelina Salcido live now in Midtown near the corners of 10th and Spring Streets. Angelina, people have been out there for hours trying to make their voices heard.
And Jennifer, they got here just before 7, made sure that they were here outside as both of these presidents, Biden and Trump, were on the debate stage tonight. Take a look behind me and you're going to see the blockade from Atlanta police right now. They're blocking off 10th Street and the bridge that leads to where this debate was held. All of this in support of Palestinians. Now, this group of nearly 150 people called for a ceasefire in Gaza tonight, knowing that the audience the first presidential debate had would be large. Fulton County Sheriff's deputies and APD officers both here at the blockade on 10th Street to make sure things stayed peaceful and the protesters stayed on the sidewalk. I did speak to many of them who said they want both candidates to hear their message and understand that what they're asking for is for the U.S. to pull all resources out of Gaza. Many who are Palestinian and are personally affected were protesting both candidates.
It's not fair what's happening, and Donald Trump and Biden, they're both worse than each other, but we're here to stop them. We want Joe Biden to know that he would never be a president again, and even Donald Trump either. They're both bad. We're never going to vote for them. We're voting no to them, no to any president that supports genocide, no to anybody support this genocide.
Now, that, again, is the viewpoint of someone who is Palestinian and has family still in Palestine. I did end up asking her who she felt comfortable supporting. She told me that right now she didn't know. She was just going to have to wait until November. That's the viewpoint of many other people that were out here as well. For the most part, everything stayed peaceful tonight. Just a few maybe arguments between people that were in the crowd, but everything stayed okay. APD still on scene here. They'll continue monitoring things throughout the night. We're live tonight in Midtown. Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive News.
All right, Angelina, thanks a lot for the update. So right now, how are President Biden and former President Trump's campaigns reacting to tonight's debate?
11 Alive political team member Faith Jesse also has a spot in the debate spin room tonight. Faith, you just spoke with Vivek Ramaswamy. How is he reacting in spinning the debate tonight?
Well, he certainly, when I asked who he felt won the debate, he said that, of course, he thinks former President Trump won the debate. But you know, both of these candidates came in battling different obstacles. President Joe Biden came in trying to prove to the American public that he is fit for president, that he is not too old to run this country for another 4 years. While former President Trump, people have been criticizing him for his outlandish ways. We did ask Vivek Ramaswamy if President Trump delivered and pulled in those undecided voters here in Georgia, did his job to do that. This is what he said.
Do you think he performed how he went out there and did his job and convinced those undecided voters, including the 8% here in Georgia, that he is the guy for the job?
I think he did. He exceeded my already high expectations. He hands down won this debate. And the reason why is not only did Trump win it, but Biden lost it. Both those happened at the same time. Did he convince independents tonight? I think he actually did. The moments where he talked about, you know what my vengeance and retribution will be? It will actually be success in this country. People saw, they tried to bait him into it. He stayed on his policy record, and I thought it was a beautiful thing. At the same time, he didn't compromise on his principles.
And right behind me is a major gaggle with all of the surrogates for Biden. I was able to listen in moments before we came on air. Senator Raphael Warnock was telling the press that Joe Biden, this country is better under Joe Biden than Donald Trump, period. That's the end of the story. So that is what we're hearing from the Biden surrogates as to how they felt that this debate went. So it will be a tale to see what happens between now and November. Of course, another debate may happen in September, so we might see these two back on the stand then.
All right, Faith, thanks a lot. We'll check back in with you and also Zach Merchant as well later on in the broadcast. Thank you.